Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I'm going to do this quick video during my lunch break. I'm going to talk about Ben Carson and a whole bunch of these other bootlicking, ass-kissing, shoe-shining, watermelon-eating, handkerchief head sellout Uncle Ruckuses who have the nerve and the audacity to defend that racist bastard in the White House, Donald Trump. Now, you all will recall that I did a video about Donald Trump and his statements about Baltimore. Another example of his racism, just like his statements about Africa being a shithole and Haiti being a shithole, and talking about Chicago and how only Negroes can live like this. This man went on to diss Baltimore, attack Baltimore. And we know that Baltimore is a predominantly black city. This is my city. I live here. And I take offense to what this man had to say. For those of you who haven't seen my prior video on this subject, I'll post a link in the cards when I get a chance to. I'm not going to rehash and, go over what was said in that video. But needless to say, this man attacked a predominantly black city, made racist statements about this city. And despite all of that, you got bootlickers on here defending this guy. You got this Uncle Ruckus, Dr. Ben Carson, defending this guy. And it's a damn shame because Ben Carson was a man that I looked up to as a kid. He's a man that I was inspired by. I read his book, Gifted Hands. That was one of the books my mother gave me, because you had a brother who was from Detroit who had different issues. He was a struggling student and dealt with poverty and all that stuff and managed to attend some of the top universities and become a neurosurgeon at the best hospital in the country. He became a distinguished surgeon, well recognized around the world for his greatness. But this man has squandered all of that by becoming a damn Uncle Ruckus, by becoming a modern day Sambo, by becoming a modern day real life Steven from Django. He squandered all of that. So you got this man who worked in Baltimore, co-signing Donald Trump, talking about how he was afraid to send his patients back to their homes in East Baltimore, where they were roach infested and rat infested and had mold and lead and violence. This is what this guy, Ben Carson, had to say, co-signing Donald Trump's nonsense, co-signing Donald Trump's shenanigans. And we know what Donald Trump is about. He's about promoting division. He's about promoting racism, because he knows that there's a underbelly in this country. That there are parasites in this country that love that kind of stuff. He knows that his base loves that racist type of rhetoric. They gravitate towards that. They gravitate towards the xenophobia and the bullying and the hatred of Muslims and all that stuff. They love that stuff. So Donald Trump is giving them what they love. And you got Negroes that are so clueless, so blind, deaf, and dumb that they don't even get it. They don't understand that this man is speaking in racially coded language. And you got people that have put out documentaries about black history and culture, co-signing this stuff, co-signing a racist bastard, while disparaging a black man, a black congressman who's done more for Baltimore City than a lot of people, who's done more for black people than a lot of these do nothing, know nothing, armchair revolutionaries that all they do is talk all day and night on YouTube, and they don't do a damn thing in the real world impacting people's lives. These people had a nerve. These people had the audacity to talk about Elijah Cummings not doing nothing for black people. Get the hell out of here. Producing a documentary is good in terms of waking people up to certain issues, but that's not enough. That's not addressing no violence in the neighborhood. That's not addressing failing schools in the community. That's not addressing, the attack on our voting rights. And these same people, they want to pretend like they're so against white supremacy and all this and that. They helped elect a white supremacist, Donald Trump, by telling you and me that we need to sit home and don't even get involved in the politics. But that's a whole nother issue. But you got this this coon tap dancing for Donald Trump. This coon who threw out his reputation to become a damn coon. Somebody that was well respected, but now he is a joke. He is a buffoon. And I'm glad that, the people that own this church ran him off their property. This guy, Ben Carson, tried to give some press conference on the property of this church here in Baltimore. And they told him he couldn't do it because he didn't even have the courtesy to seek approval to have a press conference on their property. Like the pastor said, these people show up in Baltimore for publicity, man. He's here in Baltimore to get a photo op, to do a press conference. But what about being here in Baltimore to help address some of the conditions that Donald Trump pretends to be concerned about? The mayor here was talking about how Donald Trump is talking all this crap about how Baltimore hasn't done this and that hasn't done that and that didn't spend this money properly, didn't spend that money properly. And this federal government is not doing enough to help out Baltimore. If you're concerned about the situation here in Baltimore, put your money where your mouth is to help improve the conditions here. This notion that Baltimore is so horrible is nonsense. Without a doubt, there are issues that need to be addressed in this city. Crime, inner city violence, those things need to be addressed. But let's not pretend like Baltimore is some hellhole or something like that. This is a beautiful city with great culture and great people. There are many great things happening in this city that don't go reported in the news, that need more attention. And another thing is this, man. Even if you take issue with like the elected officials here in Baltimore, even if you have problems with some of the conditions here in Baltimore, that needs to be handled like a family affair. Instead of getting on here co-signing a racist bastard that has no love for black people, a racist bastard that told the people that black people are too stupid to vote for him. Said that he doesn't want black people counting his money. Who said that black athletes that protest are sons of bitches, calling black women bitches. That's the man y'all co-sign. That's the man that y'all get on here and defend and stuff like that. Even if you have a disagreement in your family, you don't go out here airing that disagreement among all these other people. You don't fight with your own family in front of outsiders and stuff like that. You go in the house and you address your problems in that house. Even if you got a problem with your brother or your sister, you're not going to co-sign somebody else attacking your brother or your sister. You're not going to do that. You're not going to sit back and let somebody talk down to your brother or your sister, or, disrespect your brother or sister, call your brother or sister all kinds of names and treat them real foul. You're not going to let somebody do that, even if you have issues with your brother or your sister. But these Negroes nowadays don't even have any kind of home training or any kind of common sense at all. Instead of going in the house and addressing the problem with their brother and sister, they get on, they allow this white man to attack their brother and sister, and then they jump on the bandwagon and join that racist white man in his attack on their own brother and sister. Make no mistake about it. When Donald Trump attacks Baltimore, he's attacking black people, period. And some of you are too slow to get it. Some of you are too clueless to understand that. So anyway, man, tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.